Buh Babies.
Richard?
Gentlemen.
William?
Boys, welcome to the show, to the Simple Mind Sports Show, Fat Tuesday. Allow us to start with some opening takes. Ray, I know it's very fucking important for you to go last, so why don't you hold off for a second, because I got a hot take to start off the show. The only way the New England Patriots at this point in time in the 2021 season do not make a deep playoff run, define that however you want, anything past the wild card, the only way they don't make a deep playoff run, the only thing standing in their way is Mac Jones.
I 100% agree. I think this defense is for – nope, shut up. I think this defense is for real. It's not just mediocre quarterback playing. They're a ball-hawking defense. They lead the league in interceptions. They went to that zone defense, and they're smothering quarterbacks. They scored 45 unanswered points and completely shut the Browns down yesterday. That's a pretty good offense. I want to do this with this opening take.
I want to use it as a little bit of a tease to get into the show, because I just want to see where Ray's brain goes with that. Obviously, I have my reasons for saying that, and I want to see where Ray's brain goes with that. But so stay tuned. We'll do the Patriots talk. Obviously, Mac Jones had a career day on Sunday against the Browns, but I stand by my take. He is the only thing standing in the way of this team making a deep playoff run. Bill, why don't you start off the show with your opening take, if you would?
Fire Don Sweeney.
Hallelujah.
That's my opening take. I thought this Hula, Nozick, same player, and you're paying about $5 million for both of those. Olmark, you're paying $5 million on his own right. Forbert, another $3 million. You have to question every single move. I don't consider Taylor Hall in that. I thought it was a good contract, but if he doesn't fucking start producing, empty net goals don't cut it in my eyes. In a fucking blowout, every single move needs to be questioned right now. And Don Sweeney is on the fucking hot seat because, again, you alluded to it last week, Rich, you have zero plan. You had Dan Vladar. You wanted to get younger at goalie. You got rid of Tuca and Halak. You had Swayman there, who you're just now trusting, who just is beating out your $5 million a year goalie that you brought in on free agency. And you traded Dan Vladar, who you were also hired on for a third-round pick. Sweeney's on the hot seat, and if shit doesn't turn around quick and he doesn't make some major moves, you really need to fire his ass and make some changes. This Cam Neely, Don Sweeney regime with Peter Chiarelli before that's been in power a long time, and the Jeremy Jacobs of the world mediocrity doesn't win championships, and this is where they're going.
Great. Raymond, we've been waiting anxiously all day for this opening take. I feel like you're probably going to have to set it up in some type of way to make sense, but you know what? This is your time, buddy. Why don't you give us your opening take for the show?
Thank you. This started at 8:30 this morning when we were doing our little text exchange. We were talking about free agent pitchers that we should bring in. Me being the resident pervert of the show, I wanted Justin Verlander for Kate Upton purposes. Just when you thought you knew people. I've known Bill since 1992, 30 years almost. Rich since 97, almost 25 plus years. And they come out with the audacity. Nope. The audacity to say that Kate Upton is not a dime piece. You two are fucking buffoons. Rich saying, oh, she needs to have an ass. Oh, the tits are great, but you need to have an ass. Fuck you, Rich. That girl is a certified.
I also never said the tits were great.
I'm an ass guy. I don't need those big nardones in my face. I'm an ass guy. I want a nice voluptuous badonk.
You guys made me so angry today by just doing that. And then Emily Rojankowski, he fucking Rich throws that on my plate too. You guys,
I'm out on. I'm out on her.
I thought
I'm out on her.
I thought I
ugly stomach. No. Really ugly stomach.
No.
I'm out on her.
We're strangers.
Right? As a FUPA guy, I figured you would have seen that right away.
She's too skinny. Put a little meat on her. But
did you see those meat? There's double D's up there, Bill. That's the meat. All you need, buddy.
Well, if nothing else, you're bringing.
I've seen her pussy, so I get it. So I can see there, but
I do need to clear this up though. 90, Bill. Did you know Bill before he came to Raymond?
92, second grade, baby.
I moved to Raymond in second grade.
Second grade, 92. Oh, yeah, that's right. You guys are older than me. And Bill, that was second grade because you'd fail for the 30 years in a row or something like that.
Yeah, I'm like Benjamin Button, right? You age backwards. Is that how it goes?
Bill was a 41-year-old in the second grade.
He's Billy Madison.
Him and Ray hit it off.
Yeah.
Well,
banged all the teachers.
I don't know if we'll get back to that during the show. Maybe.
I don't think we will. But
it might come up.
It need to be said.
It's clearly deep in Ray's psyche right now.
I was pissed today.
But we'll certainly be talking about.
I'm not
Patriots.
saying I wouldn't fuck her. I just said she's way overrated and not a dime
Fuck
piece.
you. Fuck you both.
Yeah, the list of things that you wouldn't fuck, Bill, is beyond my comprehension.
Keep your standards
Patriots-
low and you're never disappointed.
Patriots and Browns on the show. Obviously, Mac Jones's day, a domination from the Patriots. A lot of that today. Quick look at the AFC East. Thursday Night Football, so we'll touch on the Falcons as well. And I'll touch on the Bruins a little bit in their weekend and a little bit of Red Sox news as well. Welcome to the Simple Minds Sports Show, Fat Tuesday edition, November 16th. Welcome to the show. On a roll with those dates, aren't I?
No.
The last time you said that, you'll come out with
December.
fucking December 18th.
Yeah.
Fair enough. You know who is on a roll? White Birch Brewing, the best craft brewing in New Hampshire, down in Nashville, New Hampshire. Address, please.
460 Amherst Street.
The good side of Amherst Street. Get on down to the brewery. Get yourself a flight, get yourself a pint. It's beer drinking season. They got the big warmers with stout, porter, whatever you want this time of year. It's snowing up there this weekend, was it? You catch some flurries?
No.
No.
Didn't do any cocaine.
A little bit north.
It's been a while for that.
Got news that it was snowing. Either way, head on down to the brewery and get yourself beers. If you can't get to the brewery, check out your local beer store. Wherever you get it, tell them the Simple Minds boys sent you. White Birch Brewing. Of course, we're starting Patriots Browns. The shellacking 45-7 shellacking the Patriots put on the Browns.
Statement.
I mean,
You wanted one.
Best game win we've seen out of this team since the beginning of 2019. Tom Brady, before that started to go downhill, and I can't even name you the game.
I would probably honestly Chiefs playoff game, AFC Championship game was probably the most. I mean, that's not much of a dominant win, but it's finally like what you saw yesterday, really.
Well, it's terms of like making a stance, determining who you are as a team, and this team has kind of been in flux for going on 2 years, or if 2 years going on 3 years until this. Yeah, I think it's up there. I honestly think it's up there. I want to get into all of it, certainly. But just the overlooking kind of view of what this game was, the Browns were a team coming off their best win of the season against your Bengals, Raymond. They shut them down. Their defense, Cleveland's defense, showed up in a big way. Obviously, the Browns are missing Chubb and Kareem Hunt this game, but Dearness Johnston played well early in the season, and his first drive looked fucking great for him in this game, and the stupid Browns went away from him. So I don't give you the excuse of Nick Chubb. And also, the Browns got fucking smoked. It was a clinic all around by the Patriots. 452 total yards to 217. They were 7 for 9 on third downs. I thought that was most of the game. The Browns, on the other hand, I think were 1 for 11 or 12. They were terrible on third down.
Patriots average to gain on third down was over 6 yards.
Yeah,
they were money on third down.
Third and ones, third and threes. They were picking them up legitimately. 34 minutes to 26 minutes time of possession, and 30-17 on total first down. So just domination all around. It was a statement win, like you said, Bill. I know my opening take is still out there in the ether and why I think Mac Jones is the only thing standing in the way of this team in the playoffs. But we are going to start with him in this game and his game. 19 of 23, 198 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's a career record for him. A 98 QBR, if you're paying attention to that, out of 100, which is, either way you want to slice it, pretty fucking good. Things that stood out for me, the third down, certainly, but he had 4, maybe 5 unreal passes, touch passes, bullets.
Two on that 99-yard drive. The one to, not to cut you off, but the one to Jacoby Myers I thought was his best throw over the shoulder on 3rd and 9, by the way, for 26 yards. And then 2 plays later, that Bourne, I thought Bourne made a better catch for how good a throw that was. That was a better catch on Bourne's. I mean, and then the Hunter Henry one up the sideline, which if I'm them, why aren't you challenging that? I thought that ball hit the ground. If I'm Stefanski, whatever his stupid name is, Stefanski, I'm throwing a challenge. I'm throwing that flag there. But again, 3 perfect balls. I mean, he had 4 incompletions, and 1 was a throwaway and 1 was a drop. So I mean, he was money all game.
And 1 was a tip.
And what was his? He had 141. QB rating this game. It was, I think he's one of 4
he was
rookies
dealing, especially early, that little stretch where Cleveland goes down, runs right through the Patriots defense, and then for some reason decides to throw at the 2-yard line a couple times, almost blows it, but they get the touchdown on 4th down. Corey should have had that pick on 3rd down, by the way. Had his palm right on it. Would have been nice to see him come down with it. But they come down and score. Patriots come back, 83-yard drive to come down and score. They get the ball right back. Was that the interception or was it the next possession?
Duggar. It was Duggar had an interception right away and punched it in with Stevenson.
And then they punched in with Stevenson at that point, 14-7. And then they get the 99-yard drive and it was over. And then it was fucking over after that. And then they just to tack it on. They had another 92-yard drive in 8 plays, 95-yard drive in 6 plays. So this was as legit of an offensive performance as you could find. And I don't know if you mentioned the other throw I had marked down here was the Henry touchdown, the first touchdown to Hunter Henry.
Was disgusting. Yeah, with that loft play. Like, I mean, that with the fade, that's a pretty hard throw right at the sideline, and he put it right in the money. I mean, Jones was unbelievable. The defense, real quick on that, Cleveland's opening drive. You've seen the Patriots struggle with the scripted plays. You've seen the first drives on a lot of teams get a lot of big yards on the Patriots, including touchdowns. Carolina, I believe, had a touchdown in their friggin' scripted plays like that. You've seen it going back to the preseason. We've said it all season long, the scripted plays. You don't have that chance to run it in the second half when you're already down 3 scores. He's got the field, you know what I mean? So you can't really script for that at that point.
And Myles Garrett gave the world some decent sound bites after this game about his coaching staff. So, and we can certainly get there, but just to stick to Mac Jones, I'll go to you, Ray, here. Sorry, I lost my train of thought, Ray. Your take, or what your thought of Mac Jones in this game? Was it a coming out party for him? Obviously, a lot of talk. The last 2 games were not as good. Plateau has been the word of choice around Boston. My thought process in that it was always he's a rookie quarterback. I don't know. I don't think he's plateau. He just had a couple games. We speculated maybe he's hurt. He's taking a lot of hits. It's a lot of football. Coming from college, he hasn't played that. So just to have a game like this, your thoughts, Raymond?
I think it's the chemistry. If you look at it, he's getting a very good chemistry with Hunter Henry now, who's his neighbor, I believe. And you've seen pictures that he was at his baby shower, blah, blah, blah. But the chemistry
7
there,
touchdowns.
Yes, the chemistry is there between him and Hunter Henry. I think Kendrick Bourne also has some good chemistry with Mac Jones right now. So that's what I like seeing is the chemistry that they're building and how they keep developing each week. It's not a coming out party for Mac Jones. It was just, he didn't even have 200 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. That's great. But the chemistry he had and the completion percentage is what I like to see that keeps going up each week.
Well, and you ran the ball so good. You had 181 yards rushing on Cleveland, number 3 ranked defense in the league. You basically, made Myles Garrett invisible. He had 1 sack, but I think it was more on Mac than him. It looked like a 2-3 step drop. But other than that, they chipped him with N'Keal Harry all game. N'Keal Harry played 39 snaps, I believe, or 35 snaps was the most he's played all season. You didn't hear him much, but he was chipping Garrett all game long, and it gave him time. But again, it all starts with a running game. That's why you get your Mac Jones threw for 200 yards. They ran the fucking ball down their throat, and including end arounds to Kendrick Bourne. I think he had 3 carries for almost 50 yards. They stretched the field on him all game to neutralize Garrett. They let Garrett run past him, and he could not stop the run. That was what won you the game. You said again, and then through your 3rd down, Mac Jones was great. The whole offense in general. You put up 45 points, including Hoyer to Jacoby Myers late for that garbage touchdown. Love seeing them fucking kind of go there, try to get him his first touchdown. But still, it's good. It's good.
It's like we've all said too in this text exchange. There's no you couldn't pick out a bad player on either side of the ball in this game.
No, probably not. We could try.
It'd be a stretch.
I think Isaiah Wynn started shaky. He had the hands to the face that negated a first down, and he gave up a sack. Other than that, he did a pretty fucking damn good job on Myles Garrett. You didn't hear Myles Garrett for much of this, if at all, in the second half. Oh, yeah. So the offensive line as a whole, getting Trent Brown back was huge. He's monster.
Such a big dude.
He is a monster in this game, and it stabilizes that line.
I visually because I was watching the game and watching my daughter, so I was a little bit distracted at the beginning of the game, and then I thought, oh, Trent Brown's supposed to be in. Let me see if I can see him. Immediately when my eyes went to the office, I'm like, oh fuck yeah, he's in.
Dude, 6'8", 380.
He was in pretty much the whole game. He played pretty much the whole game, and the offensive line was terrific. To your point, the running game was great. Stevenson, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. He looked really good. Mac Jones, the entire game, had 3 pressures, 1 sack against the number 1 pass rushing defense in the league. And yes, they ran the ball well, Bill, but it's not like they went back there and ran it 50 times. Mac had 23 attempts, 24 with the sack, and however many times he dropped back was probably more like 26, 27. So, they were certainly throwing the ball around, and this offensive line stood up. My question to you is that, I know it's not purely a Trent Brown thing, but last week they didn't look as good against the Panthers. Certainly not. And they haven't looked as good all season as they did that game. Trent Brown has to be a big reason why. And just to tack on, your boy Onwenu was the guy, the odd man out but he played. I mean, he was more of a swing tackle. He came in a lot on extra tackle help, more as almost a third tight end, really, a lot of times. And they left Karras there at guard. So a little bit on the offensive line there and Trent Brown's contribution, Bill.
I think it's huge. Again, I think he's, 2018, he was basically a Pro Bowl left tackle for the, the world champion Patriots. And now you shift him over to right tackle. He has the ability to play both, but I mean, you see what it is. It stabilizes that right edge. You know what I mean? And you saw they were running, they were running at Garrett's side, but they were still stretching the field all game. And he's a good pass blocker. You have Javady and Clowney running from the opposite side of exactly. You didn't hear him fucking once. Again, you neutralized two pretty Pro Bowl, all pro pass rushers in Cleveland's defensive end and Clowney and Myles Garrett. So, I mean, yeah, that's what Ted Karras has played pretty well at left guard. I was kind of surprised. I thought Onwenu could shift back over to left guard, but I did like him in that extra. I got it right.
Good job, buddy.
I got it right.
I didn't want to say
I looked them up. I looked them up
For any
on Friday.
consistent listeners, Quincy Aninwa is the guy that Bill has been referencing all fucking season when he's talking about Aninwa, Onwenu, who was a wide receiver for the Jets, who wasn't that bad for a couple of years. But anyway,
yeah, he had a couple of years, broke his neck. But no, I mean, I like Onwenu. I like Onwenu in that swing tackle role. Yeah, you saw him as that extra tight end, especially with Jonnu Smith. With Jonnu Smith out, we'll see what happens when Smith comes back, because maybe you're going to use Smith there, so maybe might move Onwenu back into the left guard role. But it's hard to break up. And the way Trent Brown started, he played 75-80% of the snaps. I think they pulled him out late in the game after they were up in the 40s. But I mean, it's a good bounce back. You just got to try to keep him healthy. So if you rotate both of them in, I'd be happy with that. Keep Karras at left guard.
Yeah, the stuff I was listening to, I think it was Bernard on the after show said that he was in there. Trent Brown was in there for like 76-80% of the snaps. So it wasn't like he came in and was rested. My conspiracy theory, get a life loser, was Bill Belichick kept Onwenu available just in case Trent Brown was not, instead of switching things up mid-game and having Karras come in cold and so on and so forth, just have Onwenu available to jump in that tackle spot if him or fucking Isaiah Wynn wasn't able to keep going because, his injury history and his lack of, kind of consistency this year. So, yeah, I'm with you. Onwenu was as a swing tackle if need be. I'd still look, they look good yesterday. Isaiah Wynn still gives me question marks, Ray. The idea of a fully healthy, engaged Trent Brown at left tackle, and then an Isaiah Wynn or Onwenu on the right tackle, or however you want to place that does make me feel a little bit better for Mac Jones, honestly. But I don't know, if they keep playing well, you got to stick with it, right?
Absolutely. I mean, if Trent Brown is the difference maker here, I mean, one sack, I think, yesterday. That was it for Cleveland.
3 pressures. That's huge. They lead the league in pressures.
And then the last week we saw Mac Jones almost die in the Carolina game. So, I mean, it's a nice, I don't know. If Trent Brown is that difference maker, sign this guy long-term, because, you need this kind of pressure. You don't want your franchise quarterback getting killed back there week in and week out. And it's nice to see that he had a clean jersey after the end of the game this week.
Yeah, and if that's the case, if Trent Brown is the difference maker or not, if this is just what the offensive line can look like for the most part moving forward, look at the type of quarterback Mac Jones can be. Look at the throws he can make. Look at the touch he can have, the accuracy that he can have. Certainly, the commentary around Mac Jones in the last couple of weeks where he hasn't been as sharp was he got sped up. He's been getting hit a lot. His line hasn't given him enough time. Well, a lot of that can be said about the GOAT, the Judas, Tom Brady as well. A lot of that can be said about literally any quarterback in the NFL.
Let's make this quick.
What's that?
Nothing. Go ahead. Did you hear his press conference?
Oh, Brady? Yeah.
He's a whiny little cunt.
Let's make this quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, tides are turning a little bit. I'm not. I mean, I'm not doubting Brady in the Bucks. Listen to Wednesday's show. We can get into that a little bit more. But about the same time last year, people were saying the same thing, and Brady took over the offense and they won the Super Bowl. So we'll see. Let's do a little bit before we move on to the defense, which had an amazing day as well. Just a little golf clap. Kudos for Josh McDaniels, who was getting a lot of shit, rightfully so, earlier in the season for his red zone calling. Mostly thought he had an awesome day. Thought he had a great day yesterday, kept the defense off balance. I guess that ties into Myles Garrett commentary that their defensive coaching made zero adjustments the entire game, just kept leaving the same fucking looks out there. But the Patriots offense looked great. And a lot of McDaniels has a lot to do with that.
Yeah, those two Hunter Henry touchdowns are a prime example. You had the fade route to tie the score, and then that late one right down the seam, wide open. Hunter Henry basically juked him right out of his shoes. Had no idea where I think Johnson was his name. John Johnson,
Yeah.
real name.
John Johnson.
John Johnson. I'm not making that up.
Parents really fucking went out on that one.
But I mean, you've seen it. Our biggest thing was, why aren't you throwing in the end zone? What, it took 3 games. You were 1-2. And the big narrative was you went at 20 trips or something, and you didn't throw in the end zone once inside the red zone, and now you're seeing it. You see the connection with Hunter Henry has 7 touchdowns. That's huge. That's all, and they're all inside the 20-yard line. You led the league, the Patriots in receiving touchdowns last year. Rex Burkhead with 3. Okay.
Well, it's Cam throwing for 8 touchdowns and 12 picks.
Yeah, Hunter Henry's almost caught as many as Cam threw all of last year. We're in game 10 now.
That's unbelievable. We'll get to Cam Newton in the Wednesday show on his run down. But just real quick, like the people that were still out there before this game, or maybe before the Patriots went on this little run, talking about where the Patriots would be if Cam Newton was still their starter. I don't think you get it. I don't think you get it. Like, Mac Jones is very good, and he's been very good for most of the season, obviously including yesterday. Yeah, the offense was terrific, and I think, Ray, your point at the beginning of this segment of they're clicking, the chemistry, it's all coming together. You got $160 million guaranteed dollars, a lot of it on the offense coming into this team. You got a rookie quarterback. You got a new offensive line mix, most kind of. It was going to take time for this to kind of start to gel. Sunday seemed like the day where it gelled about as good as it could have. I don't expect to see that performance week in and week out moving forward. By the way, I think there'll be ups and downs. Allow me to get into my Mac Jones point. He's a rookie. He's not going to do that for the rest of the season. He's going to have bad games. He's going to be put in positions against Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or somebody else where he's forced to go put up 45 points for real, not in a blowout, because your defense is not having a good day. And rookies generally don't do that. A rookie's never made the Super Bowl. A rookie quarterback has never made the Super Bowl, never mind win it. So for that to be expectations now, I think is crazy. And for that to even that's the only way this Patriots team doesn't make a good move, because their defense is good enough, their running game is good enough, their offensive line is coming to play, and clearly the coaching is above, wildly above the par. Your only question mark right now really is your passing game, which large part relies on your rookie quarterback, who's going to have another dip in play this year. Hopefully it's just not in a consequential game. If it's not, if he steps up and beats the odds, then you should be looking at AFC Championship. That's the type of talent and the way this team is playing right now.
Don't get me too excited for this. I think.
Sorry to cut you off, Bill, but in relation to also the rest of the league, and the AFC has nobody in front of you where you should be afraid of. And that's also why, if the Chiefs were the Chiefs, then I wouldn't entertain this. The Bills were the Bills of the last 2 years. I don't think I would entertain this, but neither of those teams and no other team is playing well enough
wide open
compared to the Patriots and what they're doing to say that they can't be right there. The only thing holding you back, the only real question mark for me is your rookie quarterback.
Yeah. And I mean, if you look at the schedule, you keep getting lucky. Reports are right now, Patterson's out for Atlanta, who you're playing on a short week. So, I mean, that's huge. That's one of their big offensive weapons. You already have no Calvin Ridley. You just missed Nick Chubb. So, I mean, schedule, if you look at your schedule, Tennessee, Buffalo twice, and then throw Indy in there. you go 2-2 through there. I mean, you're a legitimate threat in the AFC, I think, because Buffalo and Tennessee are the two top teams right now, 1-2 in the AFC. I think Kansas City's coming rounding into form. Patrick Mahomes last night, 5 touchdowns, 400 yards. So I
hold
mean, I think
hold that thought, because we're gonna get. I just want to touch. We haven't given the defense a lick of love, which is just insulting on that in that Cleveland Browns game. So I'll go right back to you, Bill.
Sorry, I jumped ahead.
It's okay. The point I was going to make after that first drive, which this is what the thought that popped in my head earlier, and I can remember again. I think it was Bedard in the after show pointed out that in that first drive they got caught in sub packaging, the defense package. So the
they went hurry,
Cleveland offense went hurry, and they just kind of ran through their safeties. After that, I mean, you all watched the game.
Nothing.
They literally did fucking nothing. Duggar with that interception. Judon and Barmore again were the big forces in that front seven. I think making your secondary so good, how good those two guys in particular have been. Kyle Van Noy had a nice game. He had a sack and a deflection and a forced fumble. Lawrence Guy was popping up on your screen. Dietrich Wise was all over the screen on that game.
You know who doesn't need to be on the screen? Josh Uche. Get him off the fucking field.
Okay, well, don't turn this into a complete fucking negative. I'm not going to you, Bill. I'm going to you, Ray. Your thoughts on the defense? Judon, Barmore, and these, J.C. Jackson obviously is having a year. He's the NFL leader in interceptions. The Patriots lead the league in interceptions now, and Kyle Duggar is turning into a better Patrick Chung over the last several.
Stephon Diggs leads the league in interceptions.
Stephon Diggs is a wide receiver.
The guy from
Trayvon Diggs, his cousin or brother leads the league. He's got like 7.
He's for the Cowboys.
J.C. Jackson's tied for second.
Yeah,
5.
Fuck off.
Anyways,
the Patriots lead the league in the interceptions. Go, Ray.
Correct.
Yes, like you were saying though, I believe it's the front seven that's helping things out with J.C. Jackson get these interceptions. And like I said, the text exchange, these guys are doing it quietly. The things they're doing, it's not showing up on the stat sheet. They're doing the little things to make other people shine, get the spotlight. That's why J.C. Jackson is looking so good, is because these guys in the front are just doing the little things, getting to the quarterback, making them rush. And it's a beautiful fucking thing. It reminds me of 2001. I'm not saying this defense is as great as 2001, but they're doing the little things that make this team better and help a rookie quarterback.
Well, you look at like Christian Barmore, it's not going to show up, but you look on that interception, he pushed 2 guys 5 yards back into Baker Mayfield, and he rushed his throw. That's the second week in a row that he's caused an interception. How the fuck did this guy slip to number 38 in the draft? Because he has character concerns? Well, he looks like a grown-ass fucking man right now playing defensive tackle for the New England Patriots. And him and Barmore right now are the big reason why I highlighted it last week. If they can get consistent pressure, it puts their fucking cornerbacks in a better position, and it lets J.C. Jackson be a ball hawk that he is, and they're constantly pressuring. Judon knocked Baker Mayfield out. He didn't see that. It might have had a lot to do with the score, but they put a big fucking hit on him. And him and Barmore, you're seeing it week after week. Barmore's getting up close to that 70% snap range. He might be in 95% by the time this season's over. Right now, I don't see a way to take him off the field. Same thing with Judon.
If you look at the defense, the way they're set up now, I go back as early as 2018, Trey Flowers, Kyle Van Noy. You can kind of see that. Sorry,
Hightower's there too.
Yep, and Hightower obviously had a great year. Towards then he's getting back into form. But I just look in the comparison of what this defense can do in the back end because they have Barmore and Judon in comparison to 18, where Trey Flowers was getting that rush up the middle and Kyle Van Noy was getting the rush on the end, and they're able to parlay that into mixing up their coverages in the secondary and getting, fancy in the secondary while the other guys are holding their spots. That's what you're able to do with this defense. And that is a recipe for fucking brilliance. If you're Bill Belichick, if you can get pressure with 4 guys and disguise your coverage in the secondary, have, your Devin McCourty, who's your safety net, not allowing any big plays. I mean, and then you got, like you said, ball hawks and JC Jackson, Adrian Phillips. Let's not forget to mention his name every fucking time we talk about the defense.
Duggar's really coming into form too. Duggar, now you're seeing, he came from a small Division II college, and now you're seeing it like the draft, and then last year's draft and this year's draft on defense right now is really paying off with Barmore, Duggar. It's really showing up. I mean, Bill always preaches pressures are better than sacks. And they might not, they're 4th in the league, 3rd or 4th in the league in quarterback pressures. they're kind of in the middle when it comes to sacks, even though Judon has 9.5, but still it's like they're getting the pressures. They're forcing those interceptions. And again, rushing 4. It all starts with those guys. They get quarterbacks, consistent pressure on the quarterbacks, and that's it. That's how this whole zone is. This is what they morphed into when you're down your top 2 quarterbacks. And did you hear Jalen Mills yesterday? Because I sure as shit didn't after he got hurt, but he didn't play a bad game. But he came back and you didn't hear from him again.
I was so excited when he got hurt.
He got beat on that 4th down play at the end of the game.
Loser.
What's his name? Who's the quarterback? Case Keenum. Threw behind the receiver there. That was the only time I saw Jalen Mills. But yeah, you're right, Bill. They're able to disguise it and hide their weaknesses a little bit. Another guy I'll point out as an undrafted guy, Miles Bryant. Seems like there's always an undrafted cornerback in that secondary making a play for the Patriots.
Yeah, he seems like he's always around the ball too, like a tackle. He's always throwing his body in there.
Yeah, I don't see him a lot of pass deflections, but he's playing that trailing technique. He's a good tackler. There's certainly a lot to like there. Just quickly to go back to the offense real quick, because I think this guy needs a shout out too, and we haven't talked about him. Actually, we've only made fun of him when we've ever said his name, Ray. Brandon Bolden. Brandon Bolden stepping in for James White.
He looks good, man.
He's not going to blow any doors off, but he's doing all the right thing. He knows exactly where to be, when to be there, and do the right thing. So kudos to him. Yeah.
Yeah, the first drive. Sorry, I'm going to cut up, but the first drive, he had a 15-yard screen on 1st and 20. After a holding penalty too on the first drive. I mean, you don't get that. Who knows what that game is? I mean, I'm not saying that drive is super the outcome of the game, but 7-0, you give the ball right back to him.
Decent segue into this last piece about this game. Are the Browns dead? Did the Patriots kill another organization here? Because Myles Garrett comes out and he's bitching about his coaching staff not adjusting. Baker Mayfield tapped out of that game again because he was hurt. Fine, he could have played. His coach said he could have played. So there's infighting going on in Cleveland. There's too much talent to be a 500 team. They have obviously been the dregs of the league forever. What they go 11-5 last year. They pushed the Chiefs to the brink in the playoffs, and now it seems like all is crumbling. Baker's not the guy. Myles Garrett is going to want out at any point in time. Stefanski, I think, is a good offensive coach, but another guy that can't do a head coaching job. Was this it? Was this nail in the coffin? Did the Patriots get their swag back by fucking killing another franchise, Raymond?
Yeah, absolutely. You saw it with the Chargers. Now you're seeing it with the Browns. Belichick's just killing these organizations one by one, and I fucking love it. And on to Thursday when we're going to kill another organization. The Falcons.
I'm not giving them the Chargers.
We already killed them years ago, 28-3, right?
But this is going to be like them pulling the plug on them.
We already pulled the plug, 28-3. They'll never live that down. They could win 5 more Super Bowls, and they'll always bring up the 28-3. They've been dead since 28-3.
Yeah,
they've been dead forever. But yeah, this we'll put some more. The Patriots will put some more dirt on the grave here on Thursday. Yeah. I appreciate what you did there, Ray. You tried to go with the segue.
We'll dig him up and then rebury him after Thursday. How about that?
He's been watching too much Sopranos. Real quick, there's not a whole lot to talk about this Thursday game. The Falcons stink. They got buried by the Cowboys. They have nobody to throw the ball. Matt Ryan sucks. Their defense was good at the beginning of the season, not good now. Patriots should roll. You have the psychological egg. I'll just say it's a new coaching staff. You have Dean Pease there, who clearly knows you and has had success against you.
He's had good success there.
And Arthur, what the fuck's his last name?
Smith
had success with the Titans, I guess, or was that Derrick Henry? So a little bit of success there in the coaching staff. Maybe they won't be as blown away, but just on the field, the Falcons don't have enough to hang with you, do they?
No, Patriots should win by a touchdown. I mean, they're a road.
By a touchdown?
Yeah. It's going to be a sloppy Thursday night game. I don't think they're going to go and blow out Atlanta. I expect the Patriots to win by a touchdown.
On the road. Your last name's Gately, and you don't think back-to-back games or something that you can't pull out? Come on. Meaning your mother takes a dick every night, and she still performs great.
I didn't quite. I kind of got the innuendo, but I'm glad you nailed it.
I spelled it. I spelled it. I spelled it.
No, I appreciate it. Shocking. I agree a little bit more with Bill. I think it's closer to a touchdown game than a 45-7 game. Did you guys talk at one point
that I don't know about?
Yeah, your mother's pussies would shake hands every Wednesday.
I didn't hear that. Am I going to have to beep that? Have you watched Thursday Night Football in the past 10 years? There's terrible fucking games. They're terrible games on both sides. You got a rookie quarterback.
Miami just beat Baltimore. Enough said.
Belichick goes into these games looking for a win, not a blowout. He just wants to come out healthy. I expect 10. I'll give you 10 points, Ray. Does that make you feel better?
No.
I can do it.
27 to 13. How's that? That's a
Okay.
16-point game, 13-point game.
14 points.
21 to 10. I'll go. I'll give you 11.
Oh, do not discount Nick Folk like that. He's getting a field goal.
24 to 10. I'll give you 14.
Fair enough. Good Patriots talks there, boys. Nice win from them over the Cleveland Browns. By the way, it puts them in sixth position in the playoffs, just a half game back still of the Bills, with two crucial matchups coming up with them in the upcoming weeks, but obviously firmly right there in the playoff picture. For now, we're going to take a quick break. We'll shoot it over to headlines with the obvious one.
And let's hope I do better than I did last week, because that was a doozy. Patriots wiped the Browns' brown eye with the 45-7 shellacking. Mac Jones had a career day, 19 of 23 for 198 yards and 3 TDs, 2 of those to Hunter Henry. Jacoby Myers popped his TD cherry after 1,522 yards, an NFL record. The Patriots are now 6-4, sitting 6th place and a half game behind the Buffalo Bills in the division. Over the weekend, the Celtics lose to the Cavs 89-91. The Celtics were outscored 29-15 in the fourth quarter, and their balls have yet to drop. I believe they're losing right now as we're recording, 39-37, and it's halftime. The Bruins sweep their weekend games versus the Devils and Canadians. Charlie McAvoy had 2 goals and 3 assists over the weekend. Charlie Coyle with 2 goals versus the Canadians. Brad Marchand with 2 goals in the Devils game. The Bruins are now 7-5 on the season. They next play on Saturday, which is mind-fucking-blowing, against the Flyers.
Fire Sweeney.
Yeah, and E-rod rejects the $18.3 million qualifying offer from the Red Sox and signs a 5-year, $77 million deal with the Detroit Tigers. This has been the headlines with the obvious one.
And we're back. Before we get into some Bruins talk, and yeah, also, by the way, we're not going to talk about the Celtics today, but just they still.
Fuck, I'm so out on this fucking
Cookie.
Fucking A. Yeah, you're probably right. I don't even want to fucking fight about it anymore. Don't want to argue about it anymore.
Just eat the jizz cookie.
I said this. I don't remember making that bet, but fine. I'll eat a jizz cookie just so I can swallow how angry I am about this fucking team. But I said this 2 years ago that they're only going to go as far as Jason Tatum takes them. That was 2 years ago. Jason Tatum is taking them backwards. So it's still up to him. It depends on how well, if he can ever grow up and drop his balls and develop into a real NBA player. Let's talk about real sports. We did a lot of Patriots talk, but good. They're the best team in town right now, and they deserve it because they've been shit for 2 years. Fuck your revolution.
You soccer.
Fuck. They're not going to play for like a month. They take breaks.
Yeah, when do they play? After
So
Christmas?
dumb.
After
It's so
Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Whoa. So you're bitching about the Bruins go a week? The Rebs just finished their season and go a fucking month. This is
To be
why
fair, I'm
soccer.
bitching about the Bruins going.
This is why soccer will
Ray
never
doesn't watch
catch on
hockey.
in America, and this is the dumb bullshit why. Last year's
Hey.
play-in tournament to draw up hype for the Major League season. Fucking stupid. Come on, let's talk real football.
Chiefs, Bills, Titans, Ravens.
Oh, Robert Williams
Patriots.
is out. Awesome. Fuck this team.
He tore his ACL on Friday, you idiot.
Robert Williams.
Oh, I thought you said Robert Woods. My bad, baby. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that.
Let me try this again. Chiefs, Bills, Titans, Ravens, Patriots. Those are your teams at the, anybody else you want to throw on that list? For me, those are the only teams right now in contention. And I believe the Patriots belong on that list. Here's my questions for you and why I think they have a chance, if not for Mac Jones being a rookie quarterback. If he can get out of that rookie quarterback thing and perform in high situations, which, by the way, we didn't talk about this in Patriots Browns, is the last test for this team, I think. You've shellacked shitty teams. Now you've shellacked mediocre teams. You know you can win in a blowout. Let me see you win a close game against a good team. And now we're talking. All right. And you're going to have your chance. You got Titans, Bills, Colts coming up, then and Bills again. You're going to have your chance to be in some tight games and see if you can perform. That's your last test with this team and Mac Jones as a quarterback. Again, I think that's also the only thing holding you back, because outside of Mahomes, do you see a quarterback on that list of those teams that has performed at the elite level in the playoffs? And I'll give you those quarterbacks. And you could say yes or no. Josh Allen.
No.
Nope.
Ryan Tannehill.
No.
Nope.
Lamar Jackson.
No.
Nope.
Nope. Out of those three quarterbacks, all of them terrific in the regular season. Ryan Tannehill, okay. But you got an MVP in Lamar Jackson and a leading MVP vote getter in Josh Allen and Ryan Tannehill, who resurrected his career. None of those guys have shown up in the playoffs. So you get him into a big, and frankly, the Patriots defense have played Mahomes as good as anybody really has in the playoffs. So I just give him a shot. And then you look at the other side of the ball. Who's the best defense in that group right now?
Patriots.
Patriots.
Patriots, yeah.
That
Well,
Bills
Bill,
probably-
I like the Bills defense, but I think the Patriots have a more fierce pass rush, honestly.
And I think
Tre'Davious
they're
White
more opportunistic. I
kind of
think
fell
it's
back in the secondary, too.
Patriots hands down is the best. Well, I'll give you the Bills, but the Patriots defense is there. I think on the top of that list. So I don't know. I just look at the AFC, and Ray, you've been saying it. We've been saying it for a while now. It's certainly wide open, but with this deciding win over the Browns, the Patriots have placed themselves firmly in that top 4, top 5 category until they get above the Bills in the division. You got to.
Who's ahead of them in the standings? Pittsburgh. They're better than Pittsburgh too. The only reason they're there because they fucking tied the Detroit Lions. So let's be real. The Patriots are should be the number 5 team in the AFC right now.
North division is really topsy-turvy. The Bengals, Browns, Steelers, and Ravens have been kind of up and down a lot. The Ravens is clearly the best team in that division. The Steelers don't belong anyway.
Yeah, I think you're going to get 2 teams out of the West and 2 teams out of the East. I think the Chargers are going to make it. I don't expect Pittsburgh. I don't expect Cincinnati to make it. I don't think because again, Joe Burrows can't win. Yeah, I mean, the Patriots are looking strong.
Say that?
Because they can't fucking win. You want to see Jets game? You want to see Mike fucking White again against the Jets? Didn't Cincinnati just lose 2 games in a row? Right? Was it 2?
They did. Yep, they did.
Oh, okay.
Smoked by the Browns, who just got their.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Was it? Yeah, the Patriots just beat 45.
Ray, any thoughts of the AFC here as we move into nut cutting time with Thanksgiving on the corner? Bills, Titans, Bills, Colts, Bills. Your stretch. Also, let me throw in there one more time. Miami at Miami, last game of the season. Brian Flores. We've seen that show before. Do not count that as a win if you're a Patriots fan. So
we've seen it with Brady, though. Hold on. This is Brady can't play down there. Let's see with Max a different. Matt played in Alabama. He's used to that warm fucking
the Dolphins
muggy
got
weather.
him last year at the second part of the season.
Yeah, but that
was Cam Newton.
That was Cam Newton.
Okay, fine. And so again, Mac Jones, my opening take. He's the only thing standing in the way of you.
Well, don't forget, you also got Jacksonville week 17, 18, whatever the
17.
What is
17.
Week 17. Yeah.
Week 17, game 16.
17.
Edibles kicked in.
Jesus. No, it's just so fucking stupid. I got to add that extra game now.
Oh, yeah, 19 weeks. Rain Man's having trouble with the.
There's all these other
the Matrix is fucked up today.
This new fucking game's stupid. But again, you finished favorably with Jacksonville and Miami. You got Bills twice, Titans, Colts. You can legit. If you could squeak out a 3-1, I mean, you're winning the division in that stretch. If you go 3-1,
take 2 and 4. Take 2 to split with the Bills.
2 and 2 is
rich.
I think
Titans. Now you're looking at an 11-win season, and you're firmly in position. And
I think you're beating the Titans. I have no Julio Jones, no Derrick Henry. I think you're beating the Titans. I think you're beating the Colts. I'm not sold on splitting between the Bills, but if you legitimately you beat the Bills at 3-1, you're winning that.
Good, man.
You're winning that division. I don't care. They look good against the Jets. I know it was against the Jets. They still got to play the Jets again. I'm just saying that I just don't. I think if you go 3-1 and you do split with the Bills, I think you're beating the Titans. I think you're beating the Colts because that offense is run around Derrick Henry. I don't think Bill's going to let it happen.
Yeah,
especially with him out.
Ray, any final words on the AFC and the Patriots' place in it?
Quickly, like you said, Thanksgiving is coming. Let's not count out COVID. We have Lamar Jackson, who is not vaccinated, who's caught COVID twice. Let's make it thrice. Other than that, I think it's
one was
really
false.
It's really between us and the Bills, I think, to take the AFC lead right now.
Oh, KC might have got back on track there on Sunday night.
It's the Raiders. They've been killing themselves. So.
Ooh, okay. On that, we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Sky rockets in flight. Woo! Afternoon delight. Whoop. You guys have it, I think. Afternoon delight.
I don't know, Ron. That sounds kind of crazy.
We're running late, Bill, so keep it short. Fire Don Sweeney. They got 2 wins. The Bruins got 2 wins over the weekend. Nice to see, a lot of points out of McAvoy, 2 goals out of Coyle. Hall got on the in the sheet on a fake goal. Can they get rolling on this, or do you take it wherever you want? Can this team in 2021 get rolling off of good games against bad teams this past weekend? And does it matter if you have the likes of Noshik and Hala, and Charlie fucking Coyle as your second, and no defenseman? Does it matter? What is this Bruins team? Where are we right now? There's no path. There's nothing to
Zero path.
They're not going to win this year, and there's nothing young. There's nothing to be excited about for me on this Bruins team this year.
I mean, I'm excited for Swayman. I like McAvoy. He's playing at a Norris level right now. Early in the season, you're 7-5. You're just treading water. You just mentioned you scored 5 goals. McAvoy, Coyle, Hall. You know, it was all on the team last year. McAvoy, Coyle, Hall. It's a running pattern on this Bruins team right now, because every acquisition you just had, including your $5 million goaltender that just lost back-to-back, just got sat back-to-back starts, and you're going to the young guy. The veteran acquisition should have been more important, and you should have groomed Swayman. I don't understand why they don't trust him. You could have went young. You could have brought Halak back, honest to God, had him spot starts, and got the leadership and the veteran presence there. Not a fucking $20 million a year for the next 4 years, or $20 million, $5 million next 4 years. Goalie who is a backup now. Swayman's the guy you have to run. But again, all your acquisitions this offseason haven't been shit. Mike Riley, who you traded for, just got benched back-to-back games. Forbert has been a dud back there. You see Grizzlick playing now with Charlie McAvoy. You're moving Forbert down to third line. It's a joke. You did nothing. You added all these pieces. And it goes back to drafting with Don Sweeney. And that's a story for a different day, because instead of spending all his money on the Noziks and the Halas, that should have been young talent brought up in the third and fourth line, and money spent on a fucking solid number 1 D-man to pair with Charlie Coyle. Instead, you get a corpse that's Forbert, who sucks.
There's no direction, and a lot of that is Don Sweeney fighting for his job, because I think this is known around town. If the Bruins make the playoffs, you keep your job, and they probably should make the playoffs because there's enough talent on the front end and just throughout the team to make the playoffs. But they're not going anywhere, and they got young defensemen in their system. Whether they're good or not, we don't know. But Vakanainen and there's two more guys. I forget the names right now, but they're out there. And whether your skaters are good or not, you should be playing them on your bottom 6. The team should be looking to rebuild, not destroy, but retool and rebuild kind of on the fly. And they're not. They went out and spent stupid money on mediocre bottom 6 players because they got no one to come up. Raymond,
quickly, you probably need a backup goaltender later in the season. There's a guy from Finland that could really use an opportunity.
Not if Swayman's the number 1 guy. You're not going to carry 3 goalies. I get it. It makes sense in your eyes, but it made more sense if you got a cheap backup.
They'll dump Omar. They'll dump him.
You got to trade him.
They'll trade him for a 5th round pick. Which honestly, I'd be fine with. Honestly, I would be fine with. Running late, but E-rod, the first big signing in the quote-unquote hot stove MLB offseason, obviously leaving the Red Sox, declined the $18.3 million qualifying offer, which gets the Red Sox, I'm hearing, a 2nd, 3rd round pick, if that matters to you, and signs a 5-year, $77 million deal with the Detroit Tigers worth $15 million-ish per. Billy Snip Snaps, you've gone back and forth on this with me mostly, and Ray doesn't really care on the I care on E-rod on this team moving forward. Ray, if you do remember though, Bill was really high on E-rod coming into 2021. He's been
soured quick.
You know why he soured? Because you didn't like E-rod. That's why I
don't like E-rod.
That's not true. I don't like Evaldi. He likes Evaldi. I'm not a huge Pavetta guy. He likes Pavetta. Fuck off, Ray.
You just do that because you want to show, because I'm right.
The other side of that is I was right and he was wrong.
True.
E-rod stinks. The other 2 were good. E-rod stinks. No,
E-rod doesn't stink. You were.
He had a 4.74 ERA this year. He's got a 4.14.
He pitched better in the second half.
Career. He had the beginning part of the year sucked. I think he had a 7 ERA. He cleaned that up in the middle part, and then he finished not that great. Got a game in the playoffs. Did he get game or 2 games in the playoffs?
He pitched
Anyway,
one in each.
I can sum up E-rod for you. He goes to the mound, no idea what's going to happen. No idea. He could go one inning and give up 13 runs. He could go 6 innings and have 11 strikeouts. No idea what's going to happen with this guy. He's not a piece moving forward. This is the same thing about the Bruins. He's not a piece moving forward. So 5 years, no, bye-bye. 3 years, no, bye-bye. You want to do the 1 year in the 18 per? Fine. They need some pitching. They don't have any. But now you've cleared that 18 million. Go sign yourself a pitcher. If it's Stroman and you got to double down and pay a little bit more, I'm for you. I'm with you to bulk up that pitching staff. But yeah, I'm
options.
okay saying bye-bye to E-rod. Bye-bye.
Yeah. I went back and forth. I was fine 1 year deal, prove it deal. So I came around on the one in 18.4, I think it was, or 18.3, right around there. I probably would have done the 1 year kind of prove it deal again, but 5 years, no, I'm out. You've Steve Matz, you've been linked for him coming out of Toronto. Robbie Ray, who might win the Cy Young coming out of Toronto, who I actually fucking hate. I hate his fucking guts, but for whatever. 2 pitchers, and I hate him for other reasons besides how I used to hate his guts when he was in Arizona. But he's going to win.
Right? Do you know?
No, I don't know. Anyways, and then you got again Marcus Stroman coming out of he used to pitch for Toronto. Now he's coming out of the Mets system, playing on that 1 year arbitration deal or whatever 10-year deal, whatever they offered him. There's options, but bye-bye. Thanks for the draft pick, E-Rod. Thanks for helping us win a World Series. You pitched really well in the 2018 playoffs. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I agree. This has been the Simple Minds Sports Show, Fat Tuesday, November 16th. We'll see you on Wednesday for our NFL recap show. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ray, is it a surprise why you're asking when Bill went to Raymond, or is that something that we should discuss?
You'll find out.
Oh, so it is a surprise.
Sure.
I'd be worried, Bill.
He could give 2 fucks about what Ravens.
I don't know. Ray's really turning into something special here on the internet.
Beautiful?
On the internet deep dives. No, beautiful is not where I've.
All right.
You've always been beautiful, baby.
Thanks, baby girl. Appreciate that.
For a pig. Bill, how are you?
Actually, wonderful today. Thanks for asking.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Great.
Nice salmon colored shirt.
It's red.
Okay.
Colorblind.
Okay.
I like that he's still going with the crew neck undershirt. Very classic.
Always, dude. I like it. I like an undershirt. I love the undershirt. I don't know why. Especially
So
in
you
winter,
like
it's
an
getting a little
undershirt?
cold.
You like an undershirt, but you make fun of my wife beaters?
Can't say that.
It's
Ray.
not a
Write this down.
fucking
It's a beep.
wife beater. That's why.
What is it?
White beaters are trashy. A plain cotton white Hanes t-shirt, not trashy.
No, I'm saying what I wear is a nice under tank top, maybe you want to call it, since I can't say the other word.
It's a wife beater.
Ray, how solidified in your choice of wearing Wuhan wife beaters are you now that you and I are both watching a lot of Sopranos, catching up on a show we have not seen? Everybody's wearing wife beaters in that show.
I love it. I feel at home.
Fat guys too. They have zero shame.
Oh, here we go. You gotta start fat shaming.
Yeah.
No. I just said they have zero shame. I'm not fat shaming. More power to them. Bunch of fat Italian men in wife beaters. I don't wear wife beaters.
At times after watching that show, I wish I was Italian, so I could eat some gabagool. You know?
That show is fucking amazing, and I'm glad you guys are finally watching it.
I know it took a long time. Still,
we're like
overrated.
20 years behind.
Season 4 is. Oof.
That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, it's very good.
I got 1 episode left of season 4. You want season 6, you dink?
No, I'm on 5.
Oh,
but maybe I've said this. I think it's overrated because people call it the greatest show of all time. However, I'm binge watching it, so I'm watching it as if it's 2021, and shows in 2000 were not made for 2021. So I'm sure if it was you had to watch it every week, it would be a different story. Because that's why, partially why I like Game of Thrones so much. I was into it on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
Well, another thing too is again, you're watching it 20 years past, so you already hear all the hype. So it's like you have all this hype built up in your brain about this fucking show, right? Yeah. So if it's like a little bit below where you thought it was, it's like, oh yeah, it's a little overrated. But you've also had 20 years to hear about the hype of the show. right?
True.
So it kills it. I think after 20 years, it's kind of killing it. Like right now, if you started hyping up Seinfeld again, like I think it wouldn't be as good. Shut the fuck up, Ray. I'm talking. The grown men are having a conversation.
I've
here.
been watching Seinfeld too, and I will say I get laughs, but it's not like. But again, it's kind of binge watching. It's like, it's very funny, but it's not like.
Well, right now I'm watching the new season of Curbs out, and like for me, I just watched it right before this, and it's fucking hilarious. Like it's just but the anticipation week after week.
Yeah. I think
I get disappointed. I get disappointed when you binge watch a show and you're like, "Fuck, now I got to wait a year." You got to wait a year.
True.
Like, it's the worst.
No, it's true. The immediate gratification is not, except for I told you about this show before, Billions. I've about caught up with like the last. They split the last season in two, so the last end of season 6 coming in January, and I'm almost caught up to it. My wife and I. And it's good. It's really good. I'd watch that.
Dan Soder's in that. He's hilarious.
Yeah. The whole it's all really good.
Katie Nolan. I like her.
Katie Nolan.
She's a sports girl, right?
Yeah, Dan Soder, the comedian.
She
just got fired. She just got fired from ESPN, but she's a Patriots fangirl.
Oh, I know who Katie Nolan is. Is she? What does she have to do with Billions?
She's
dating a guy.
One of Dan Soder in Billions.
Oh, she's dating him. I thought you said she was in the show.
No, she's dating Dan Soder from Billions.
Yeah, Katie Nolan's she's a plus and
she's better looking than Kate Upton is. There, I said it.
Ooh, motherfucker!
There, I said it.
Are we getting to opening takes?
Do you want to save that for the after show or the cold open after show?
Whatever you want.
Kate Upton is an over.
Nope. Let me go to my opening take. Thank you very much. I've known Bill since 1992. Rich since 1997.
Let me start the show, Ray.
Is this why you looked at for when we came to Raymond?
Yeah.
So you can. Okay.
All right. This is ridiculous. Okay. Rewind backwards. What show? Oh, you know what show does this? Is ESPN fantasy football show with Matt, whatever his name is, Field Yates. They come in cold and then they rewind it back. That's the thing. So anyway, if you're at the and you haven't heard the opening takes, rewind it all the way back to the beginning, and we'll start there.